First example we're going to look at is we're going to decide whether each of the following problem involves a permutation or a combination, and then we're going to go through and work out the answer. So our first one is we've got how many 4-digit numbers can be made from the digits 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 and 9 if no repetition of digits is allowed. So if we're looking at a 4-digit number, our number 2, 3, 5 and 6 is a very different number to our number 6, 5, 3 and 2. So I can see that the order that those numbers have to go in is really important. So we're definitely looking at a permutation rather than a combination. So I'm just going to bring up my calculator. Here we go, and I'm going to enter into my maths menu. And then I'm going to go cruise across onto where it says probability, and that's my probability section of that menu. My permutation, so I'm looking at NPR, so I'm going to press enter on number 2. And then there was altogether 6 digits, and I had to choose from 4 in total. So altogether there are 360 different ways that those 4 numbers out of 6 could be arranged. My second example has a student has to answer 8 out of 10 questions in an exam, and how many choices has she got altogether? So in this case, if she's just answering 8 out of 10 questions, doesn't matter which of those 10 questions she actually answers. So the order that they come in is not important to our scenario. So in this case, I'm looking at a combination instead. So again, I'm just going to bring my calculator up. Again, into the maths menu, across to probability, but in this time, instead of NPR, I'm looking at NCR, where the C stands for combinations. So I had 10 options altogether. I'm picking 8 of those combinations. So altogether, there are 45 different ways that could occur. I could do that same calculation using my actual combination formula if I wanted to. So in this case, I want to bring up my fraction template, alpha, and then x. I'm looking at 10 factorial into my maths menu, across to probability. Number 4 is my factorial, and then I'd be looking at divided by or over 2 factorial, number 4, and then 8 factorial, again back into that maths menu, across to probability, number 4 again, and there you go, we can see we come up with 45 again. The other really handy thing that our NCR function can do is give us a list of a whole row of our Pascal's triangle. So we can do this by using our statistics editor and getting into our list. So we're going to go stat, edit, and in our list one, we're going to enter all of the numbers from, we'll do the 5th row of Pascal's triangle, so from 0 through to 5. So we're going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then if we get out of there and get back into our main menu, so second and mode to quit, and we get up our NCR again, so again into maths, across to probability, and then number 3 NCR, we can put in here, so we're looking at the 5th row, so we're looking at a combination, total number of elements of 5 things we're going to pick from. And then each of the things that we're going to pick is going to change based on what was in that list. So our first one was picking 0 things all the way up to picking 5 things. So we're going to put in there, instead of having one distinct number, we're going to put in our list 1. We're going to press enter, and that's going to calculate the number of combinations for all of those elements. So there we can see we get our 5th row of Pascal's triangle, 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. Okay, so for our next example, we're considering the scenario of shooting a goal in netball. The probability of getting the shot in is 60%. So the first thing we're going to find is what is our probability of getting 7 shots in out of 10. So first thing we want to think about here is what kind of probability we are looking at. So it's a binomial probability scenario because you can either shoot the goal in or not shoot the goal in. There's nothing in between. It's a yes or a no type question. So that means that we're going to find this probability by looking at either our Binomialpdf or our Binomialcdf function. So this first one here, we're looking at getting 7 shots in out of 10. So that's a discrete value that we're finding exactly looking at 7 out of 10. So in that case, we're going to use what's called our Binomialpdf. So we can find Binomialpdf under our distribution menu in our calculator. So we go second vars to bring up our distribution menu, and then it's right at the bottom. So I'm going to use my navigation keys to scroll through and find PDF. Now you notice the next one down from that is CDF. So PDF, this is the one we use when we're finding the probability of a set value. CDF is if we're finding the probability of a couple of values all added together. So I'm going to go into PDF. My trials, that's how many shots I'm taking all together, so that was 10. My probability of success is 0.6. And my X value is how many shots am I trying to find the probability of? Well, that was 7. So I'm going to paste that into my main screen, and there we go, we get the probability 0.21, we'll round up to 3 decimal places, 215, or 21.5% chance of getting that in. Now, just as a point of interest, what if I wanted to look at all the different probabilities of making those 10 shots? Well, there's a really nice way we can do that, and that's using our list function. So I'm going to go into stat, into edit, and now my list 1, I've got all the values from 1 to 10. So this would be the probability of getting 0 shots, 1 shot, 2 shots, all the way through to getting all 10 in. In my list 2, I'm going to now enter that binompdf distribution again. So second, distribution, find binompdf. My trials is 10, my probability is still 0.6, but in this case now, my X value, I want that to change based on the value that's in my list 1. So I'm going to paste that in, and there we go, we can see each of those probabilities. So the probability of making 2 shots is 0.0106, my probability of making 5, approximately 20%. My probability of making all 10, 0.006. So there you go, that shows you all the probabilities there. Now, my second example from this question is looking at the probability of getting less than 7 shots in. So we're still going to talk about out of 10. And in this case, if we're looking at less than 7 shots, that's adding together the probability of making 0 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's everything that's going to give us less than 7. So in this case, instead of using the PDF, we're going to look at the CDF because that adds together those different probabilities we're after. So back in my calculator, I'm going to go into my distribution menu again. I'm going to find CDF. In this case now we're looking at 10 trials still, our probability still remains 0.6, but my X value now is going to be 6 because I'm finding everything from there and below. I'm going to paste that in, and there we go, we've got a 61.77% chance of making anything under 6 shots. It's really handy to note that your CDF function will only calculate a less than probability. So whatever the number that you enter for your X value there, that's going to be the upper limit. So if you wanted to find the opposite and find what would be the probability of making more than 6 shots, you would still find the probability of 6 and under, but then you would take that probability away from 1, and that would give you the opposite probability of making 7, 8, 9, or 10 shots. Alright, so part C asks for what's the probability of getting between 3 and 6 shots in, and that kind of follows on from our last idea that we were talking about as well. So how would I do between 3 and 6? Well, let's think about which shot values am I interested in. So I'm interested in the probability of getting 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I want to eliminate all those other values around those. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my distribution menu, again, Binomialcdf, and I'm going to find my probability of everything that's less than 6. So that's again going to leave me with the probability of everything from 0 all the way up to 6. I'm not going to worry about going back in my distribution menu this time. I'm just going to copy this command down. And I'm going to change that last value to 2. So it's my X value there that I'm changing. So I'm going to change that X value to 2. And what that's going to tell me is what's my probability of making 0, 1, or 2 shots. There, we can see that there. And now if I work out the difference between these two values, so I'm going to work out, so there's my probability that of 6 and less. And then I'm going to minus my probability of 2 and less from that. And that's going to leave me with my remaining probability, which is just going to be 6, 5, 4, and 3. So there we go, we can see it there. If you're interested in checking that answer as well, there is a nice way that we can do that using that same list thing that we did before. So again, I'm just going to go into that list just to have a look. And if we were looking at our probability of 3 to 6, we can see that our probability of making 3 shots, that's entered into the 4th space in our list 2. And then up to 6, which is entered into the 7th space in our list 2. So if we go into the main screen again now, I can get out my list operations by going second stat into maths, and I'm going to look at the sum this time, and it's going to be the sum of my list 2, and I want to add together everything from the 4th cell up to the 7th cell. Press enter, and there we go. We can see we get the exact same probability as we did from that previous time that we did that question. All right, well, there we go. That's it for today. I'll see you guys next time.